Hello everyone! Welcome to day 3 of our birthday celebration. So good to be back with you again. How y'all doing? How's everything going? How's your week been so far? This has been a wild one for me, as you may have noticed. Or maybe not. That's very self-centered of me, sorry. But yes, we have a lot going on. We've got the birthday party and we've got several moving parts at the moment. And I'm going to Canada next week. I can still hardly believe that trip is so close. But that's funny. Anyway, let me know how you're all doing. I hope you're enjoying the celebrations so far. We're on day 3 of 5, so we're halfway mark today. And we're discussing a different topic each day and having some fun together, having some chats in the afternoon. Tomorrow's live will be at the same time as this one. Saturday's live will be the last one, and that will be 1 hour later. Okay, so I'm not going to say times because everyone gets confused with the time zones. I get confused very easily by time zones. So just an hour later than this one for the Saturday's chat, but same time tomorrow. So we're going to be drawing one of our birthday prizes later. We've given out 2 so far. We've got 3 to go, which is super fun. So I'll be asking you to choose the colour of the birthday present later on. And we're going to be talking about what it means to be an organised music teacher. So do you feel like an organised music teacher? Let me know in the chat. Hello to Virginia is here. Rachel, Rossio, Serena is here. Christy and Chris coming in back to back there. Love that. Janelle and Juliet in the house as well. And Lindsay, hi, welcome. So good to have you all here. And yes, I want to start out with a little bit of news. First of all, the big news of this week is that on Monday, the price of vibrant music teaching is going up. So if you're not a member, now is the time to sign up because members keep their price, their fee, as long as they are a member, okay? So if you're already a member, don't worry, your price will not go up. Absolutely not. Never happens, as long as you stay a member. But if you're not yet a member, you've been thinking about it, or you're thinking you might like some new creative teaching ideas, and bits of inspiration and resources you can download and all that good stuff, then join VMT. We love it. We have so much fun there. There was a lovely comment earlier. I've forgotten who it was now that I'm thinking of it on the spot, but someone had actually asked earlier today in a Facebook group, I think it was in Piano Teacher Central, hey, I'm thinking about joining vibrant music teaching. Can anyone who's a member tell me whether you found it to be worth it, whether you enjoy it, whatever. Obviously, I didn't reply because I'm clearly biased. I'm not going to say, yeah, join. That would sound really disingenuous. But there was a great comment from a lovely member there, and I'm blanking on who it was, just saying, it's the most value, the most amazing things all in one spot of any membership. And that's what I want. I want you to feel like it's incredible value, and it still will be at the new rate too, but it's even better value for the next few days. So, yeah, I hope you'll consider joining if you're not already a member. And then my other bit of news is about Vivid Practice. So you've heard me talking about Vivid Practice. That's our new app. It came out last Monday, so it's quite new. It's a way for teachers to organize assignments for their students, like what they're supposed to practice. And for your students to organize their practice time to practice more effectively. Basically does both sides. So the students use an app for their practice and the teacher uses the desktop's website, right? Or you can use it on a phone, but it's a website rather than an app. So yeah, that's Vivid Practice. A couple of bits of recent news on that front. Things have been moving quickly since Tanara announced that they're closing down. So I'm just kind of giving the latest updates as we go because it feels like, normally the music teaching world, everything we say is pretty evergreen, right? We're still teaching people rhythm and notes, and we're still using the same system of music notation that we have been for a very long time now. And yeah, there are new songs that come out, but really a lot of it stays the same, right? And this 2 weeks has been or 10 days, whatever, has been okay, things are moving at the moment. So I just want to keep you up to date in case it's relevant to you. So first of all, the group features, we are bringing in group assignments in about a month from now. Those will be ready. And then following on from that, we will be adding group chat. Those are confirmed. And we'll be adding that I'd say 6 to 8 weeks from now. I don't want to overpromise. If it gets there early, it gets there early. That's great. But basically, before you really need to switch over from Tonara, those things will be in place. The other thing that we're bringing in is a printable version of your assignments. So you really can use Vivid then just as a way for you to organize your assignments, even if students don't want to use the app. Because then you can keep everything in one place and you have all the ability to save your assignments to your library and reuse them again and again and tweak the notes as you want to. But you can print that out or save it as a PDF. And those students who don't want to use a screen, or more often the parents who don't want their kids to use a screen, can still use that for their assignments at home. So you could attach it to an email, send it to the parent, or you could literally print it out at the end of the lesson and give it to them. So it gives you different options. So those are the latest pieces of definite news that are already in the works, going to be on the way. And then the tentative news, last bit of Vivid practice news, is that we may have a way to help you move from Tonara. So I'm just going to not, again, overpromise on that yet, but I'm looking into it and seeing if we can help you and take a lot more of the work off you, even if Tonara doesn't help us, which I was hoping they might, like give you your files or something, but it doesn't seem like they're going to. So, yeah, we're going to see if we can help with that. We're looking into it further. Stay tuned for details on that. If you're like desperate to get thousands of assignments out of Tonara, I might have additional help for you there. Still a few moving pieces on that front. Okay, so with all that news out of the way, let's dive in and talk about organised piano teaching. So Denise said, I do love to organise, whether in my studio or home life. It does indeed bring me joy. Me too. I like organising stuff. Like, I can't lie. I don't love cleaning, but I like tidying. I like things being, especially setting up a new organisational system. That's fun, right? And what's not so fun is maintaining it. But I do that reasonably well as well. I do maintain my systems. I do always have a pile of like a few things that are like not quite contained within one of my neat and tidy magazine folders. But almost everything is contained and almost all books go back away where they're supposed to. And definitely all my games go away at the end of the day, including the ones other teachers use. So I do enjoy all that kind of physical organization stuff. Sharon, right? Does anyone? No, certainly people do. Not me though. Depends on the category of cleaning. Some things I just like less than others. But hoovering has to be the bottom of my list. Sorry, I should say vacuum cleaning. Has to be the bottom of my list. I'm very lucky that I don't have to do that in our house. Okay, just checking for questions. I should have said if you have general questions, type the word questions at the start. Question at the start, so I don't miss any of them. So, whoops. Nearly did something entirely different there. Okay, will you be adding a way for parent to be able to manage several children on the app? This is something that's on my radar for future. I don't have a promised delivery date for that yet. It is something that's on my radar. That's all I can really say about that, without having to log out and in. This will be different based on different families and stuff. And I do get the appeal of being able to switch between students. A lot of my students, and more than before, so this may be unique to how things changed in Dublin culture over COVID, I don't know, but most students have their own device in my studio. That's just how it is now. Whereas 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case. A lot of families had a shared iPad between kids, and now most of them, each sibling has something. An iPad, an old phone that their parent like disabled the internet on, or something, you know. The mobile internet, I mean. Just checking for any questions in case I missed them now. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Rachel, love organising as well. Fantastic. That's your superpower. I love hearing that, Rachel. Different Rachel, but equally great. Organisation is my superpower, but I do have a few organisation tasks that I haven't had time for recently. Right, it's easy to get behind on these things, right? Okay, So tell me what it means to you to be an organized music teacher, because I believe we can have different interpretations of these words, but it is one of those kind of values that I think is important. The first day we talked about creativity. The second day, yesterday, we talked about engaging teaching, and today we're talking about organized, and it's less exciting maybe than the other two, but it is something I thoroughly believe in, because when you are organized, not just in your stuff, but in how you teach, in how you prepare for lessons, in how you run your admin systems, I think you can teach better, right? So it means that if you are organized with all of this stuff, digital and physical and mental, you get more done in your lesson time, right? Because you know what you're doing next with that student, not in a way where you have to be rigid, but you know what the next thing is, what your priority with that was, what resource you need, and it's already pulled out for you, and you have any files you need to pull up on the computer, easily findable or already open for your student, right? All of those things save lesson time. And lesson time is such a scarce resource. I kind of talk about it quite a lot, about saving little pockets of lesson time, because we really don't get that much of it, right? We're not school teachers. We don't get to teach our subject every day of the week or 4 times a week or whatever. I know music in schools isn't 4 times a week usually, but I'm saying a general, say, maths in my school was 5 classes a week, and in some years we had 6, we had 1 double class in maths a week. So compare that to what we get, and we don't have a lot of it to lose, right? So all these little organizational things help me to make the most of my lesson time and to stay present in that lesson with my student, because I'm not worrying about where that book is or how I can pull up that audio file, or occasionally these things happen, but more often than not, I want to not be thinking about that. I want all of that to be prepared and organized in a way I can easily access it, so that I am in the moment with my student. And when they make a little joke, I laugh. I don't pause and then laugh a few minutes later when I finally catch up with what they said because I was on another task, right? That doesn't feel good. So you get to be present in the moment, you get to enjoy your lesson more, and you get to spend more time doing the actual lesson content when you are organized about the other stuff. It also means you're less stressed. So especially if your admin stuff, if your office work is taking you so long because you don't have good systems in place, that is stressful. And you carry that stress through your day. It doesn't really get segmented, even if we try to switch it off. And we do our best teacher moment where we're okay, it's lesson time, turn on the teacher switch, turn off the office switch or the family switch or whatever else we had going on. It still carries over. We still have some level of underlying stress there that is getting in the way of us teaching at our best, right? And I believe being organized also leads to more student respect. And I don't want this to sound disparaging of anyone out there who feels like they are scattered. But I know that for me as a student, if a teacher, and I'm thinking of school teachers more than music teachers, if a teacher showed up to a lesson and went, "Oh, hi guys, we're doing this today. Let me just look through and they've got a giant folder of all these different photocopies and they can't find what they're looking for," you lose a bit of respect for them, or you think, hey, this person doesn't care about this, what we're doing. The subject, me, their students, the school, their job, whatever category you want to put that in, or all of the above. They don't have respect for what we're doing enough to prepare and look. So I have less respect for them as a kid, as a student. Now, I want to pause here for a second because I feel like it sounds like I'm beating on school teachers. I'm not. I know they don't have enough time to prepare, okay? As an adult, I know that. I know it's way too much of a burden on them. It's different in different countries, but in general, teachers are not given enough resources, enough time. They're not paid well enough. They aren't given what they need to succeed at their job. So when they do show up and have to sort through a bunch of photocopies, I know it's because they are overworked. I'm just giving an example of how I felt when I'm comparing different teachers I had in school. The ones who I immediately wanted to pay attention to were the ones who walked in like they were in control of their material and they were prepared for that lesson. Not that I was annoying to any of the other ones, by the way. I was a nice student. I sat there and did my work, even if they weren't prepared. But we want to be that teacher. We want to be the one who appears like, I invested my time, I'm prepared, I care about this lesson, right? I care about you and music, and I'm excited to do this, so I've prepared the things that will help me do it effectively. Okay, so that lesson resources and lesson time, I think what helps you be this organized person comes down to 3 different categories. You've got your, what I call admin organization. You can call it office work, busy work. You can call it whatever you want. I tend to call it admin. You've got your lesson organization. So like actually within the lesson, how you're organizing your time. And then you've got your material organization. How do you organize your stuff? Can anyone add in the chat if they feel like one of those areas is organized and the other is not, or the other 2 are not? So we've got admin, lesson, and materials. Which ones are good for you? Which ones are tough for you? Will be different in different areas. I'll say that for me, the easiest to organize is the physical stuff. It's the materials. And I have so much of it because I run private music teaching, so I have a copy of every game we've ever created, for example. But that to me, like implementing a system and making it all look beautiful and uniform, that's fun. So yeah, that I enjoy, and it's not a huge effort for me. The only thing I have to do is occasionally talk to the teachers who work for me and make sure they flip the games facing the right order, because I'm a bit pedantic with that. But otherwise, not a struggle for me in terms of materials. So let me know if that one's easy or hard for you. Lesson organization, I have to work a bit harder at, I'll say. Now, I think I'm reasonably good at it, and I think I use my time pretty efficiently. But it's not something that I can just be like, that will just get done no matter what, right? I have to consciously be like, okay, you've prepared the right things for this student for this day. You have a plan for your lesson depending on the circumstance and how flexible that lesson is and whatever. I have to consciously prepare for that. I have to make sure I'm on top of it. It's not something that I've always been able to do. And then the admin organization is the one that it is organized, don't get me wrong. Like, I run a multi-teacher studio, so it has to be pretty organized. But it's the least fun. To be real with you. And it's the toughest to stay completely on top of for me, even though I have great systems in place. So if you don't have those systems, you're not using digital tools, it's going to be tougher and tougher. It feels extra tough at this time of year, if I'm real with you, because it's September. And so we have new students and students switching lesson times and whatever. And that's all kind of done over the summer, but there's still kind of a knock-on effect of me updating our various systems and making sure everything runs smoothly. And then at the moment, I'm also organising our silent film piano festival, which is happening in November, so it's not far away. And so I've got admin for that too. So there's a lot of moving pieces in that area. I'm pretty on top of it, but it's, I'd say, the toughest one for me. Rachel said, my problem is that Google Drive isn't organised and I don't have everything on there printed. If it's not printed, then I forget I have it. Oh, that's interesting. I print on an as needed basis. So that's just how I work. I look for things digitally and then I'm like, okay, I'll print it out for a student and I immediately give it to them because I don't want to have a bunch of stuff on my shelves, like single sheet music and stuff. No, I'm not into keeping that on my shelves. Everyone works differently, but that's not for me. If I want to just like play through pieces that I have digitally to check like what I want to use for students, I'll use my iPad for that, for my own playthroughs, so I don't keep them physically there. That's just me. Materials is the hardest aspect. You're probably the reverse of me, Serena. When I can only take so much with me on a weekly basis. Oh yeah, that is tricky. I mean, it's the same as I used to travel teach a lot, or I used to entirely travel teach, and then I did 50-50. And now I pretty much teach from here the majority of the time. So you have your kit bag and you have to put the right games in it and the right books and have everything. And I had a whole different system when that was primarily what I did. So yeah, it's tough to manage. Lesson organization is a strength. That's great. Learning that likely it is fueled by higher levels of focus for me as it's live, engaged. That's a good point. Like, we're in the moment, we're in game mode. Yeah. And so therefore we have that greater focus and that greater organization in that time. And then in our off teaching time, that's still working time, it feels a bit more flexible and there's more room to be like procrastinate or be like, oh, I'll do that. I'll do this instead of that. Or yeah, I'll just put this on my desktop and deal with it later. Yes. Sarah, okay, briefly I can explain to you. So the Silent Film Festival is an idea that is not my own. It comes from some teachers in Utah, the Utah MTA, the Music Teacher Association, had started this thing several years ago. And now they've made it kind of some of their resources, they've put them together in a way where they can share them with other teachers. So if you go to Silent Film Celebration, you can see more info there. I saw their booth and then their presentation at MTNA in, I was about to say Arizona. What am I thinking of? Nevada. Reno, Nevada. That's where I was last March. So yeah, I met the founder and she's been lovely answering little questions I had and stuff. So I suggest you check it out if you consider putting one on yourself. It's been fun so far. We haven't put it on yet, so I can't report back. I will do a live about like my experience with it and what I do differently and stuff after we've actually run it as well. Yeah. Julie said, a tricky part for me is when the resources overlap from one student to another. If too many things are in the grab basket, it can take time to find the right one. Yeah, I sort of put them in order for my day, but I also have them organized in my head, if that makes sense. So I know what I'm grabbing. But yeah, I have sort of an area that's like today things rather than filtering by student, as I used to do when I entirely taught at students' homes. I would have a folder for each student and it would all go in there. So yeah, it's different now. Sheet music collection is hard to get to keep organized in an easy way. That's my first priority. Yeah, I get you with sheet music. Like I said, I just don't print it. That's my solution there. Books are easy to organize to me. But sheet music, I print it to give it to a student. Now I save it digitally. If I need it again, if it's a studio license, print it again. But only when I need it. That's funny. Yeah, I think I can't remember even like where they run it from. They're putting it together. Yeah. Look them up though. Look up the site, Silent Film Celebration, or look that up on Instagram because they're preparing for another one at the moment, I think, as part of their MTA thing. I could be wrong about the details. I just know that they've organized a book with like simplified and elementary level versions of music from the 1920s that people used to use as incidental music to do this job. And they have some videos there about and information about how they run it, and then you can get films and get the scene breakdown from them, that kind of stuff. Okay, so Nancy said, formulating lesson plans for each student is very time consuming for me. Any helpful hints? I'm completely online, so lesson planning is critical. Excuse me. So, Nancy, first thing I'll say is, I don't think you are, but if any new teachers are listening and lesson planning is just really slow, because I hear this a lot from brand new teachers and they go, my lesson planning takes hours and I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. And normally the answer is, you're not doing anything wrong. You're a new teacher. Like, it gets faster over time. So I'm not saying that to you, Nancy. I'm just saying that as a precursor to any new teachers out there, because it does take a lot longer when you're new. People, experienced teachers, can you chime in the chat and let me know how long it took for you? Like, did it used to take longer than it takes now? If you've always lesson planned, that is. Because some of us fly by the seat of our pants in the beginning and then start lesson planning, and that's a bit different. So yeah, it all depends on what the lesson plans are and what they are doing for you. Some people like to write out step by step, almost minute by minute, what am I going to do? And that's helpful for them in thinking through their teaching, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people, a few bullet points is all they need. Some people, like me at this stage, a lot of it is about reflecting on the last lesson on the day of my future lesson, right? I'm reflecting on the last lesson, making sure I don't need any new book sheet music, etc., that I need to prepare and have at the ready. And then from there, in my head, planning a lot of like the games I want to use and the resources, because I'm following a lot of curricula that I've already laid out. I can do a lot of the individual student stuff in my head. It's not that everyone follows exactly the same curriculum, but it's based on that kind of experience of having these different curricula that I have created myself or follow from other people and building those together. Yeah, hope that makes sense. It's quite vague, but Janelle, 100% truth, right? It makes such a like over time people get so much faster. The first 2 years, for a lot of new teachers who get into teaching in a big way initially, so like they come out of college and they get 30 students and off they go. Lesson planning takes a long time in the beginning. You don't know any of the resources, the books, you don't know what's out there. Everything sounds like a fresh idea to you. And then several years in, you're like, no, I've heard this before in a different way, or I've heard about this new resource, but I'm not ready to try it yet, and I know these ones, and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, Serena said the same. Epic, I love that description. Now I find if my resources are at the ready, and I have some micro themes, then I'm good to go and build on the previous lesson too. Yeah. Scaffolding learning, picking 1 or 2 activities, games, and being able to adapt the same thing to beginners and adjust to more advanced students. Yeah, that's another element is, do you have to lesson plan for everyone in every element? Because if you're, say, planning theory games or planning a ear training activity, maybe that exists on several different levels for different levels of students. And you're really planning one activity, but in different ways for a few different levels of students, and that's a lot less than actually going through each individual student and, you know, planning it all out in that way. And as Janelle just said, just do one thing. One new thing. Don't try to incorporate every new resource you heard about this week in every lesson the next week. Okay, we're going to pick our winner for the prize for today, for the gift. So, here we go. Are we ready? Elizabeth! So, Elizabeth Tithecott, I'm going to say that's pronounced. You are a winner for today. If you're watching live, say hi. If not, we'll contact you later. And we're going to pick Elizabeth's gift. So, which one's it going to be? We got a red, we got a green, we got a yellow. You guys can barely see that, yeah, yellow blob at the top there. But yellow, green, or red, which one do you want? Vote in the chat. I like that. Yeah, I didn't set up a drum roll because there's a sound on the spinner. So that's why I was like, we don't want both those sounds together. Oh my gosh, is green winning? Green is totally the winner today. Wow. Okay, green it is. Green's up here. Okay, time for me to rustle some paper. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Indeed. Let's see what you're about to win. as I make a mess. You can't see the mess because it's down there. What is it? This gift seems to come with sound effects from me. Okay. We have one of my favorite little critters, the whale. How cute is that? We also have a finger number die. These are not available anywhere online, actually. We just had them at the NCKP conference. That's why we created them. So if you see us at another conference, we probably will have them. Otherwise, this is the only way you can get one. Just winning it. Okay, and then we have 2 books. Playful Preschool Piano Teaching and Practice Pie. Look at those colours. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, I sort of coordinated these blues with the blue book, you see. Because I'm a bit odd like that. Okay, so congratulations, Elizabeth. Oh, you're there, yay! Please email me your address just so we can make sure that it's up to date. That would be awesome. You can email it to any of our email addresses, so just reply to one of the recent emails from us and it will get through to us. And yeah, can't wait to send those out to you. Congratulations. Right, so I don't think I missed any questions, which is good. We're on top of things. So just to wrap up and give you some bits of news before we go. First of all, we're back here same time tomorrow, 1 hour later on Saturday for our final birthday party. So 2 birthday party sessions left to go. And we have 2 prizes left to give out. So if members haven't entered into the drawing, you can do so using the form which is in the description. It's vibrantmusicteaching.com/bday6. So fill that out if you haven't already. And you'll be eligible to win a prize, which is fun. Also, if you want to stay on top of what's going on with Vivid Practice and you're leaving Tanara or thinking about how you're going to leave Tanara, all that good stuff, then check out the new group, which is Tanara Expats, to stay on top of that. And if you want to try out Vivid Practice, it's vividpractice.com. We will be back here tomorrow, as I say, to draw another winner and to talk about effective piano teaching. That's our word of the day tomorrow. So I hope you'll join me then. Bye, everyone.